Namaskar, good afternoon, and Puneji, the president of the Asiatic Society of Mumbai, former Vice Chancellor of Mumbai University, members of the Managing Committee, as Puneji said, oven fresh, and I'm sure under his leadership we are going to do a great job. And walking through the society is like walking through a treasure trove. The library is very grand library that we have got, and such good work is being done. And work can only be done when you have a passion for this work. This conservation, restoration, research work requires a lot of passion. These are all not 9 to 6 office work. These are work to be done with passion and with the foresight that we must leave this legacy for our future generations. Because we are all inheritors. We have inherited, it is our duty not to destroy, but to enlarge it and hand it over. Like the Olympic frame. That is handed over from one nation to another nation, goes on and on. So that is the work. Because this is the flame of knowledge. If we lose it, we lose a great part of our civilization. We keep talking about culture, and we think that the culture is dancing, singing. Culture is also this. It encompasses everything. And the knowledge systems are the basic of every culture. We have to study our knowledge system to understand that. So it becomes very important for institutions as the Asiatic society to be vibrant, and how to attract young people. That is very important again. In Tripura, when I was there, the museum is there, and I have donated a lot of things in the museum. So I keep telling them that the museum is not a go down for ancient artifacts. I tell the officers there. They never listen to it, that's another matter. I should tell them that it is not a go down. It is something, living. Knowledge is never dead. A book is never dead. As long as it is discussed, it is read, it is debated, it is loved, it is hated, it is living. So this institution has to become a living institution. But we'll have to do something about it. We'll talk about Vinesh is there. I told him that we will see how we can, work together and how to fit into your vision. And I am very glad that I discovered something just coming as a guest and looking around. I discovered a book on Tripura, on the royal family of Tripura. I have never seen it in Tripura. Everyone talks about it, never shows it. Everyone who writes about Tripura will write about the Ratnakaram, because that is the original book. And after that it was enlarged, and it was like the Mahabharata of Veda Vyas. Original one is by Veda Vyas, and some people have added on to it. So Rajmala is the additional version, you can say. Later version is added on by different kings at different time. Ratnakaram is the main, is the foundation of that history. So I have seen this book here. I was very delighted to see it here actually. अब मैं त्रिपुरा वाला को बोलूँगा कुछ दिखाओ मुझे भी तुम लोग. And every book is quoting that book, and no one has seen that book.
हम इसकी कॉपी आपको देंगे.
And there is a debate also in Tripura, because what should be the tribal language there does not have a script. So what should be the script? And when I was asked, I said, why not Sanskrit? Ratnakaram, why not Devanagari? They asked me why. He said, why not Roman? I said, Roman doesn't have very much to do with us. Our first history book was written in Sanskrit, in Devanagari script. So Devanagari script is not alien to us. But when I spoke about Ratnakaram, I could not show it like other people. They said, where is the book? I said, it is somewhere. Now I have seen it, and Vinay has promised to give me a copy. I will send it.
Certainly.
I will surely send it. It's very important for Tripura. How a book is important, that's why I spoke about this thing. How it is important even to me. It has relevance. Because there is a debate going on in Tripura, what should be the script of the corporate language, of the linga franca of the tribe. And I am on that side of, Devanagari. Some have a right, they are side of Roman, whatever they may say. And my logic was based on the Rajatna. So these books are now not irrelevant anytime. As human knowledge expands, as technology expands, as AI expands, it doesn't make anything irrelevant. It's become more relevant. In fact, it's become more relevant to look, sometimes to stop and look what we are doing. That is important. Unless you refer to the past, you can't make out how much we have progressed. Progress is, after all, relative. We can only say we have progressed when we look at the past. And so we have progressed from here to there. And while progressing, we must carry the treasure with us. Progress cannot be, that's why the Prime Minister keeps on saying. Vikas bhi virasat. He keeps saying, very nicely said it. Viksit Bharat is a mixture of Vikas and virasat.
Absolutely.
And he said it very nicely, very beautifully he has said it. Viksit Bharat is not about bank accounts only.
Or skyscrapers.
Or ledger books. Or AI. It's about Vikas and virasat together. That gives you speed and direction. Technology will give you speed, and the treasure that we have will give you a meaning. Speed without meaning is an accident. Speed must have direction. Speed without direction will cause an accident. So that's why the institutions like this are very, very important. And I have been to the Asiatic Society in Kolkata. They also have a wonderful thing. So we will speak to Vinayji, and I hope all the committee members are very enjoyable and enlightening journey with the society.
They are very dedicated also.
And I see the people, as I said, this work can all be done with dedication. This work is to be done with passion and dedication. As I said earlier, it's not a 10 to 5 or 6 to 5 office work. People who have passion will do it. The people who are not passionate enough will not do it. Will only advise. Isn't it? So, you get involved with it. Everyone is not a technician that you can restore book. It's not possible. It's possible for these people. They are doing such a lovely way. They have done it in such a lovely way that when you fold the pages of 200-year-old books, that requires expertise and the know-how completely. But we don't have the know-how. We should be involved. And I am very, very interested in this. As I said, I always feel that our museums or our libraries should not lose their relevance. And it is for us who are serving in these bodies or associated with bodies to find out how we can make them relevant. How to make them relevant. That is for us to find out. And these are treasures. Because of our disinterest, they are becoming very relevant. Because we are not taking too much of, we are not involving ourselves. And we are not involving the youth into these things. And I am sure they will also be interested. I am quite positive that the youth will understand this, the value of this. Because I see a lot of things happening in our nation nowadays. There are bhajan sessions, they are trying to understand classical music. There is a sense of inquiry. And that sense of inquiry is the spirit of this nation. What defines it, Bharat is that sense of inquiry.
Correct.
That is the definition of our culture. Our culture is North Pole is, like the magnet North Pole is, the backward always points to North Pole. And the culture of Bharat always points to inquiry. It is astronomy or astrology or whatever you call it, medicine or Ayurveda or yoga. It is how to make mankind happy. And that is the least picture that is being done in the world today. How to keep humanity happy. And that formula is with us. And we are not taking care of it. The Western world is teaching us how to cure people, how to speed, how to do less work and more output. These things are being taught by the Western world. But who can teach that not only Sloka Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, no one can teach it and no one has said it. It is for us to teach it. And these storehouses or these huge institutions like this which are very glorious are the ones which should be looked up to for. And I am very happy to be here, and we will keep in touch with Vinayji. He's a wonderful person, very interested. He has always been, I know him from his BJP days, I was also there. So he has always been very, very dedicated to this study of the Indian way of life, the Indian knowledge systems, of taking it forward, keeping it among all sections of society. That is important, and he has always been. And I think this, with your involvement, with your support, we all can do some good work here. Thank you so much. Jai Hind.